Hey, I'm Andrew Connell. I want to take a minute in this video and tell you a little bit about a full day workshop that I've got that's coming up. It's called Developers Learn the SharePoint Framework and How to Customize and Extend Microsoft 365 Apps. You're going to learn about the SharePoint Framework and how we can use it to extend SharePoint Online and building web parts and extensions. And then you're also going to see how we can use some of those same components and how they can be leveraged in a Microsoft Teams app and a Microsoft 365 app, and how we can use that to also extend Viva Connections, including building adaptive card extensions or something called ACEs. Now, this workshop, it's a full day long, 7-8-ish hours, however much time that we've got throughout the entire day. And I've got a lot of stuff that I want to share with you. Now, I've done this workshop, or at least a variance of this workshop, many times in the past. But this one I'm doing completely different. It's a complete revamp of what I've done in the past. Now, let me talk a little bit about who this is for. This workshop is for developers. It's for developers who are new to the SharePoint framework or new to Microsoft 365 app development, or those who've got a little bit of experience, maybe no experience, or it's for people who have been involved in the SharePoint, the SharePoint Online and in the Microsoft 365 experience, maybe low code and no code developers who want to get more into the more professional development side of doing things. We're not going to work with Power Platform stuff. We're going to focus primarily on working with Visual Studio Code, working with TypeScript, working with JavaScript. That's the sort of stuff that I want to focus on in this. Now, this workshop is based on a larger course that I have on the SharePoint framework. I call it Mastering the SharePoint Framework. That course is nearly 40 hours long, comprised of over 200 lessons. And I've had over thousands of customers that have signed up and that have watched this course and have gone through this course since I launched it back in 2017. Now, I can't do everything in the course in the workshop. I mean, the workshop is really like only a quarter or maybe 20% of the length that we have in the entire course. So instead, I've taken just the core pieces from it and some of the more popular things that I think are going to be more interesting to you to get started. But my course goes into a lot more depth on these topics. Now, to show you that this is primarily for developers, I want to just make a commitment to you here in that I'm not going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I'm going to be showing you a lot of things and how to do it and how things work and explaining that process. That means I'm only going to average about 4 to 5 slides per hour for this entire workshop. So you're not going to be walking into a workshop with like 100 slides. You're not getting this massive slide deck that you can click through. No, we're going to be, I want this to be a little more interactive and a little bit more of a discussion that we're going to have. Now, one thing about this workshop that's a little bit different from other workshops you may be thinking of is that this is not intended to be hands-on. If you've ever built something with the SharePoint framework, this is familiar to you, but if not, we use node-based projects to do everything with the SharePoint framework and a lot of Microsoft Teams-based development as well. And what that means is that we have to download a lot of stuff every time we create a brand new project. That's not really conducive in a conference style workshop when we're on conference Wi-Fi and everybody's doing it at the same time. So instead, I don't want you to come to this workshop thinking that you're going to build a bunch of stuff. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to come, sit back, listen, learn, come with a lot of questions, interrupt me and ask questions, but I want you to learn and walk away with an understanding of how things work, how you can get started with stuff, and then how you can be productive in your job. I'm going to give you a zip at the end of the day that's got all of my slides, all of my resources, and all the projects, and then more projects that are what we build throughout the day, so that you're going to have all the resources by the time we're finished. So you're going to get a lot of really good resources and learning materials out of this. Maybe you want to go farther with this. And so what I'll do as just an exclusive opportunity for those of you who attend the workshop is I'm going to knock off 50% off the price of my Mastering the SharePoint Framework Ultimate Bundle of the course, what this workshop is based on. And that'll also give you access to my mastermind community that all my students of the Ultimate Bundle get to enjoy, which includes monthly office hours and our Discord community with a bunch of private channels in there where you can ask questions going forward in the future. So again, just to wrap up, I'm really looking forward to doing this workshop at the conference that's coming up. Please reach out to me if you've got any questions. I'll include my contact info here in the video at the bottom if you've got any questions about the workshop and how you can learn more.